What's up, guys? Today we've got another marathon for you to sink your teeth into. This episode is all about the most popular slick plate carriers we've featured and tested in our Best Plate Carriers series. The videos in this marathon are arranged by view count, starting with our most viewed slick plate carrier video, the T.REX Arms AC1. Let's get into it.
The AC1 minimalist plate carrier is part of T.REX Arms' mission statement to inspire, educate, and equip serious citizens. Released in late 2020, the AC1 was intended to scale to an individual's needs from a low-profile setup to an overt but not full-duty setup, there is a big difference, as required. T.REX Arms has had an undeniable cultural impact in proliferating the concept of a highly trained civilian populace. But how does the AC1 hold up against the many other plate carrier offerings on the market today? Stay tuned to this episode of Core Performance Insights to find out. Thermoregulation is the genesis of our Insights video series due to the monumental impact core body temperature has on human performance. So we'll be starting with Ice Age ecosystem integration on the AC1. The AC1 lacks the Velcro loop found on other plate carriers like our ICEPLATE EXO, Shaw Concepts RV2, or the Qore Precision ABS that are needed to readily add ice vents to the interior of the plate bags to dramatically improve airflow, provide standoff ventilation, and promote evaporative cooling. Instead, the AC1 opts to use a thin strip of spacer mesh along the center of the front and rear plate bags. If you haven't already seen it, we have a detailed article on the performance characteristics of spacer mesh on our Insights blog, for which we have included a link in the show notes below. While the AC1 does come with what T.REX calls low-profile shoulder pads, the padding seems to be very thin foam. Fortunately, both IceVent's Aero and IceVent's Classic shoulder pads can be easily added to the AC1 for continuous airflow under load and greater long-term wear comfort. Finally, our IcePlate Curve cooling, heating, and hydration powerhouse can be integrated internally via our new IMS Versa. Following temperature and environmental conditions, weight is the next biggest factor impacting human capability. The AC1 weighs 17.05 ounces dry, in size medium, with cummerbund and no placard or additional pouches. This comes the closest amongst the plate carriers we've tested so far to our IcePlate EXO, which tips the scales at 12.9 ounces in side strap configuration or 16 ounces in Molly cummerbund configuration when dry. Wet, the carrier's weight remains comparable, with the AC1 coming in at 26.65 ounces, or just 0.15 ounces heavier than the IcePlate EXO wet weight, which is 26.5 ounces in Molly cummerbund configuration. Even though the AC1 is designed with prepared civilians in mind and not built to be a full-duty military plate carrier, these are impressive results to be sure. For full details on how other plate carriers compare, check out our Best Plate Carriers of 2023 video and the accompanying Ice Age Insights article by the same name. Links to both are in the show notes below. The AC1 was intended to equip as many serious citizens as possible with the means to wear body armor. With mass proliferation in mind, it's worth analyzing the materials used to construct a plate carrier intended for the modern-day Minuteman. These materials are largely very conventional choices popular amongst manufacturers: nylon, hook and lube, laminate, tweed, elastic, and spacer mesh. Thermal transmittance is the transfer of heat through matter. For our purposes, the matter through which the heat is being transferred is the body-facing portion of the plate bags. Since kit is already insulating by nature, to defeat heat exhaustion, you want to find plate carriers and body armor with the highest possible thermal transmittance. In other words, you want to find plate carriers with the least amount of insulation. Our baseline thermal reading for the AC1 in a temperature-controlled environment with ballistic plate installed comes out to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. After inserting a frozen ice plate curve, the average temperature was 47 degrees Fahrenheit, or a thermal transmittance of 28 degrees. This is an impressive performance by the AC1. In fact, the AC1 outperformed every other plate carrier in our 2023 testing except our ICEPLATE XO. Let's take a look at where the AC1 would have ranked had it been in our 2023 testing lineup. So what does this information in this table mean? Well, for those unfamiliar with our previous technical reviews, and to break it down for the non-nerds out there, the smaller number between the baseline surface temperature and the ice plate inside surface temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. This means the plate carrier is worse at expelling heat from the interface between your body and the plate carrier. Conversely, the larger the thermal transmittance number, the more efficient the plate carrier is at expelling heat from your body carrier interface. To really simplify, smaller numbers mean you run hotter, bigger numbers mean you run cooler. Primarily, the AC1 excels as a minimalist slick design for emergency and quick access civilian use. The AC1 features a utilitarian elastic cummerbund that is 4 inches high and has 6 open-top pouches total. 2 2.5-inch pouches, 2 3-inch pouches, and 2 4-inch pouches. The 2-inch pouches can fit small radios and tourniquets. The 3-inch pouches can fit 5.56 mags, and the 4-inch pouches can fit 308 mags and also larger medical supplies. A feature that allows newer shooters ready access to a useful plate carrier without the need to purchase and experiment with many different pouches, the elastic cummerbund also keeps the carrier slick when these pouches are empty. The AC1 firmly places itself within the minimalist carrier category with the lack of moly on the plate bags. This is partly how the AC1 achieves the desired price point below $200, as moly is expensive to create. Instead, the AC1 opts to use swift clips or G-hooks to mount placards on the front and limited hook and loop panels elsewhere. For colors and camo patterns, the AC1 comes in multicam, multicam arid, ranger green, wolf gray, and black. The 3 sizes the AC1 comes in feature varying levels of adjustability based on torso measurements. The small adjusts from 30 inches to 56 inches, the medium adjusts from 32 inches to 58 inches, and the large adjusts from 34 inches to 60 inches. For sizes, the AC1 is available in small plates, medium plates, and large plates. T.REX Arms breaks this down on the AC1 product page with SAPI sizing, single or multi-curve shooter or swimmer plate sizing, and a separate chart for various HESCO plate sizing. The country of origin, or COO as it is sometimes abbreviated, is a dependable indicator of factors competent consumers should be aware of. These factors include innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. The AC1 has an interesting history, with an earlier release humorously named the AC Uno due to a mishap with a third-party manufacturer building AC1s in Mexico. This was contrary to the T.REX Arms contract with this third party to have them be entirely Berry compliant. Berry compliant, for those of you that don't know, means it's made entirely in the USA by American-owned manufacturers. These AC Unos, as it were sold at a discount, and marketing made it very clear what the consumer was getting. As of the release of this video and following this mishap, T.REX Arms does not have any mention of the current AC1 being Berry compliant on the product page. However, after reaching out to the T.REX Arms team via email, they responded to us within 1 business day, assuring us that despite past issues, the AC1 is now made in USA and Berry compliant. The final data point is price. The AC1 without any additional components is a very affordable $160 to $165, with solid colors costing a bit less and multicam a slight premium. When we compare this with other plate carriers on the market, we see that the price point is very much in line with the previously mentioned mission statement of T.REX Arms: to inspire, educate, and equip serious citizens. We will offer the caveat that for a full load-bearing plate carrier setup, the AC1 may disappoint with the lack of a structural cummerbund, stiff composite materials, load-bearing shoulder pads, hydration integration, or organic thermoregulation. However, it is important to note that these are characteristics of full-duty plate carriers. The AC1 is built for the modern-day Minuteman. Prudence dictates that you should take all relevant data for the intended use case when deciding what plate carrier, though, is right for you. That's all we've got on the T.REX Arms AC1, but be sure to check out our other videos in our Ice Age Insights technical review series covering both plate carriers and gun belts, as well as our other Insights articles over at QorePerformance.com, or available in the links in the show notes below. Before we go, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below if you own an AC1. What do you like or dislike about the carrier, and what other plate carriers would you like to see us do a technical review of? Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more technical review videos and knowledge drops to help us realize our vision for building a superhuman future together. Until next time, stay frosty. Spiritus Systems is the brainchild of Zane Vogel and Adam Holrod, who developed the idea of making gear for soldiers by soldiers while deployed to the Hindu Kush Mountains of Afghanistan. In their own words, it was an idea that we could do this better, that we could care about it more, that we could do it with integrity. Eventually, this led to the development of what is now known as the LV-119 plate carrier system. The LV-119 is one of the most popular plate carriers on the market today, and for good reason. It's also one of the most frequently requested plate carriers when it comes to integration of our Ice Age ecosystem. So the big question we want to answer today is, what makes the LV-119 so popular? Stay tuned to this episode of Core Performance Insights to find out. Oh, and a quick note about format. This is not a typical review video that you're going to find on YouTube. We put a lot of details in the show notes below. Check those out. But in the meantime, let's get back to the video. Ice Age ecosystem integration is the first category we are going to cover, since thermoregulation is the next night vision, and Ice Age ecosystem integration is the genesis of this video series. The LV-119 is a perfect host for our IceFence Aero minimalist plate carrier shoulder pads. The IceFence Classic heavy loadout plate carrier shoulder pads could also be used if you're running a heavier load, but they may be too wide for most users when paired with the LV-119. For hydration, the IMS combo can ride on the back of the rear overt plate bag just fine using the MOLLE rows provided. As for conductive thermoregulation, the LV-119 does not offer a way to run IMS Pro inside the carrier without modification. However, you can run our ice plate inside the rear plate bag and run your ballistic plate on the outside in our IMS as long as you are using a medium ICEPLATE plate. For convective thermoregulation, the LV-119 currently does not have a way to run our IceFence Classic ventilation pontoons. However, we have a solution still in development called Catamaran to address this issue. While not as smooth as an organic integration like IcePlate EXO, Catamaran will allow all LV-119 users to run IceFence under their plate bags easily. Setup takes just a couple of minutes and only has to be done once. Much like temperature, weight impacts human performance in a persistent and significant way. The pair of LV-119 overt plate bags comes in at 17.75 ounces. The MOLLE Velcro cummerbund weighs 5.25 ounces, and together they clock in at 23 ounces. If you add the placard 5.56, a 3.65 ounce gain, you get a 26.65 ounce setup. In the show notes below, you'll find a link to our plate carrier weight calculator, which can be found in the Insights section of our website. It contains weight data for all of the carriers in this plate carrier overview series, along with weight data on armor plates, pouches, and more. Wet weight is easily the most underappreciated technical consideration when it comes to modern plate carrier selection. Whether sweat or salt water, moisture retention has a massive negative impact on human performance from the added weight and hygiene risk. Yeah, we're looking at you, wet boot socks. In our testing, the wet weight of the LV-119 came out to 32.4 ounces. This is a 30% weight gain. It's not the worst we've seen, but it's not the best either. It is worth noting that Spiritus Systems makes an OTB version of the LV-119 to address this issue, which likely outperforms the LV-119 overt when it comes to wet weight. Like most modern plate carriers and armor systems, the LV-119 does not have any natively integrated thermoregulation or hydration systems in the design. The LV119 is a minimalist style carrier. There is no extra padding, no spacer mesh, no interior Velcro, no built-in hydration features. Thermal transmittance is the transfer of heat through matter. In our case, that matter is the body-facing section of a plate bag. Since kit is already insulating by nature, you want to find gear, especially plate carriers and body armor, that have the highest possible thermal transmittance. In other words, you want to find plate carriers and body armor that have the minimum amount of insulation. Our baseline reading for the LV119 in a temperature-controlled office with a ballistic plate installed was 76 degrees Fahrenheit. After inserting an ice plate, the temperature was 58 degrees Fahrenheit. This is an 18-degree temperature shift. So what do these numbers mean? Well, the smaller the spread between the baseline surface temperature and the ice plate inside surface temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. The smaller the thermal transmittance number, the worse the carrier is at expelling heat from the interface between your body and the plate carrier. The larger the thermal transmittance number, the more efficient the plate carrier is at expelling heat from your body carrier interface. In other words, smaller numbers mean you run hotter, bigger numbers mean you run cooler. Small numbers bad, big numbers good. The Spiritus Systems LV119 is built from materials regularly used in basic plate carriers today. Nylon, Velcro, plastic, T.REX in the cummerbund, tweave, shot cord, and YKK zippers. When it comes to unique features, the LV119 is a completely customizable carrier. The LV119 comes in 3 styles: overt, covert, and OTB, or over the beach. All of these styles can be mixed and matched with the others for a completely a la carte experience, depending on your mission, scale up or down to match. The LV119 also offers easy cable management for commo systems with openings at the shoulders and bottom of the plate bags. The Spiritus Systems LV119 uses industry-standard attachment mechanisms: MOLLE, which is limited, Velcro, and zip-on panel, which, it's worth noting, is a YKK zipper. We're pretty sure it's a number 8 YKK Vislon with an 8.875-inch length, but the key takeaway here is that it is a YKK and that it is different from everything else in the market, so you can only use Spiritus Systems back panels. The LV119 also has Swift Clip or G-hook compatibility for placards on the front plate bag. When it comes to sizes, the LV119 plate bags come in medium, large, and extra large. The LV119 cummerbund comes in 2 sizes: size 1, yes, that's what they call it, 28 inches to 42 inches, and size 2, which is 40 inches to 54 inches. Both the plate bags and the cummerbund are offered in multicam, multicam black, multicam arid, multicam tropic, woodland, ranger green, wolf gray, black, and coyote. The shoulders have ample sizing adjustment for in-between sizes. The cummerbund runs small, but has multiple mounting points in the rear plate bag that can be overlapped or worn wider in the front. Shot cord mounting is used in the rear plate bag, and Velcro is used in the front. The LV119 accepts SAPI or ICEPLATE plates in accordance with the size of the carrier, i.e., a large carrier fits large plates. We have exact sizing listed in the chart on screen. The country of origin, commonly abbreviated as COO, is an incredibly important consideration when it comes to plate carrier selection. COO is a dependable but not absolute indicator of innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. We reached out to Spiritus Systems to ask where their LV119 plate carriers are made, and they had this to say, quote, "Spiritus Systems proudly is a Berry Amendment compliant company, so all LV119s and everything else manufactured by Spiritus is made in the United States, North Carolina, from U.S. materials by U.S. citizens," end quote. We reached out via email on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022 at 2:37 p.m. and received our reply Tuesday, November 8th, 2022 at 4:38 p.m. Spiritus Systems is incredibly responsive. Spiritus Systems sells the LV119 overt plate bags for $109.95 to $119.95 per plate bag. The MOLLE Velcro cummerbund will run you $63.95 to $70.95. The placard 5.56 is $59.95, and for the complete package in medium, it will run you $343.80. All prices vary based on size, and here is how that compares to other carriers on the market today. So that's a wrap. on our technical plate carrier overview of the Spiritus Systems LV119. We hope you guys enjoyed it and found it useful. But we'd love to know, if you own an LV119, what do you like or dislike about it? If you were in the market for an LV119, what other plate carriers are you considering? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to keep up with the latest in all aspect thermoregulation. Follow us on Instagram via @Qore Performance. I'm your host, Justin Lee, and until next time, stay frosty.
Founded in 2009 by one man and a sewing machine in his garage, Ferro Concepts set out to create gear tailored to the unique needs of soldiers and law enforcement.
Today, they're a household name in the tactical community, known for products like the Slickster, back panels, and of course, their plate carriers.
In a previous episode, we covered the FC-PC V5. Today, we dive into the iconic Slickster, a sleek plate carrier released in 2017 designed for everything from low visibility operations to high threat missions. Almost 8 years later, we're asking, how does the Slickster stack up against the other slick and MOLLE equipped plate carriers today? Stay tuned to this episode of Qore Performance Insights to find out.
For newcomers to this series, our videos aren't standard reviews. We develop them to answer frequently asked customer questions regarding integrating our Ice Age ecosystem's thermoregulation and hydration tools with various plate carriers available today.
Our approach is strictly empirical. We present objective, quantifiable data supported by instruments and documentation whenever possible. We strive to avoid any subjective or qualitative information. We don't share conjectures or opinions. We aim to provide you with the necessary data to make informed decisions, empowering you to reach your highest potential. This is what building a superhuman future is all about.
Let's cover relationship disclosures. We have no relationship with Ferro Concepts. We purchased our Slickster at full price from a third-party retailer, optactical.com.
This technical overview is based on popular reviewer requests, and our focus is on providing purely empirical, data-driven insights. You won't find any subjective opinions in this or any of our Insights videos. Our goal is to remain neutral and unbiased, giving you information you need to make the best purchase decision and set yourself up for success.
Now let's talk about Ice Age ecosystem integration. The Ferro Concept Slickster was designed with minimalism in mind. As such, it's not the most obvious partner for our Ice Age ecosystem.
However, our thermoregulation tools have been designed with retrofitting even slick carriers to maximize performance in austere environments. Our powerful flagship conductive cooling, heating, and hydration solution, ICEPLATE, can be mounted via our universal ICEPLATE MOLLE sleeve, the IMS Versa combo. For convective cooling, increasing airflow between the body and your gear, ice vents can be added to multiple parts of the Ferro Slickster. Ice vents may be mounted to the shoulders with both Ice Vents Classic and Aero shoulder pads. For the plate bags, Ice Vents plate carrier ventilation pontoons can be added to the body-facing portion of the plate bags via our catamaran combo.
Few things impact human performance more than weight. Ounces add up to pounds, and pounds equal pain. We've all heard this and we all know it. With that in mind, let's see what the Ferro Concept Slickster's dry weight comes out to.
With just the front and rear plate bags and cummerbund, the Slickster weighs 1.05 pounds or 16.8 ounces. To find out how this weight compares to other carriers in its class, like the T.REX Arms AC1 and Defense Mechanisms MEPC, and many more, click on the link in the show notes below to check out our Best Plate Carriers 2024 article and video.
Does wet weight matter more than dry weight? It depends on your mission. Whether you're dealing with salt water or sweat, the ability for a plate carrier to shed water weight quickly can dramatically impact operator performance. Let's dunk the Slickster and see how it does.
If you have watched any of the videos in our technical plate carrier overview series, you'll know that our experimental design is simple, and it is the same for all the plate carriers we test in this series. Submerge the carrier in water for 60 minutes. Remove and hang dry for 60 seconds, and then record the weight. We conduct all of these tests inside our brand new HQ2 facility in Knoxville, Tennessee to ensure external variables like sunlight, wind, etc. are absent. With just the front and rear plate bags and cummerbund, the Slickster weighs 1.8 pounds or 28.8 ounces. As mentioned previously, check out our Best Plate Carriers 2024 article for complete comparison data. We put the link in the show notes below. Materials. The Ferro Concept Slickster is made with spacer mesh, Velcro, and unspecified laminate.
What is thermal transmittance and why does it matter for plate carriers? Thermal transmittance refers to the rate at which heat moves through a material. In the context of plate carriers, it specifically pertains to the body-facing side of the plate bag.
When a material, such as a wall or plate bag, is well insulated, it has a low thermal transmittance, making it effective at protecting against external temperature changes, ideal for homes, vehicles, or cold weather gear. Conversely, poorly insulated materials have a high thermal transmittance, which is beneficial for active and athletic apparel like running gear, PT outfits, combat uniforms, or plate carriers. High thermal transmittance allows the body to release excess heat generated during intense physical activity. Given that tactical gear inherently provides some level of insulation, it's crucial to choose equipment, particularly plate carriers and body armor, with the highest possible thermal transmittance. Essentially, you need gear with minimal insulation to enable your body's natural cooling processes to function optimally, helping you manage body temperature independently of your gear. This is critical to prevent heat-related issues, ensuring you remain effective and increasing your survival chances in the field. Some plate carriers, such as our ICEPLATE XO Gen 3, augment and enhance your body's natural thermoregulation mechanisms, boosting your physiological performance. For carriers lacking this feature, you can integrate items from our Ice Age ecosystem, like the IMS Pro, IMS Versa, Ice Vents, and Catamaran, to improve their thermal efficiency. For a detailed understanding of heat transfer methods and their relevance to your gear, check out the infographics in our Insights blog titled The Methods of Heat Transfer, linked in the show notes below. For all of the super nerds out there who want to know the experimental design of our thermal transmittance testing, here it is. Take a FLIR camera surface reading of the body-facing side of the plate bags at room temperature. Place a single ice plate curve fresh out of the freezer into the same plate bag. Next, close the plate bag and place a hard armor plate on top of the bag for 30 seconds to simulate the effect of putting on the plate carrier. Use short exposure time to test efficiency, not capacity. Next, remove the hard armor plate from the surface of the subject plate bag. Finally, take a new FLIR surface temperature reading. The Ferro Concept Slickster recorded a baseline surface temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit and an ice plate inside temperature of 65 degrees Fahrenheit, resulting in a thermal shift of 15 degrees Fahrenheit. What do these numbers mean? We've provided two data tables for an unbiased analytical context, mean on the left and median on the right. The smaller the spread between the initial or baseline surface temperature and the surface reading at room temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. Plate carriers with low thermal transmittance readings will trap and retain more heat, making you hotter. The larger the spread between the initial or baseline surface temperature and the surface reading at room temperature, the higher the thermal transmittance of that plate carrier. Plate bags with these larger spreads are better at removing heat to let your body's thermoregulation mechanisms work as naturally as possible. These tables show how the Ferro Concept Slickster compares to the other plate carriers tested.
Although the Ferro Slickster is, well, a slick plate carrier, that doesn't mean it's devoid of interesting features.
The Ferro Slickster features a carry elastic cummerbund with 4 pouches on each side to stow both 5.56 and 7.62 magazines, smoke grenades, flashbangs, radios, tourniquets, etc. There are also laser cut slots located at the bottom of the front and rear plate bags to attach tourniquets and other accessories, along with laser cut slots on the front plate bag to attach Ferro's Adapt flaps, as well as most chest rigs.
As far as attachment mechanisms go, the Ferro Slickster uses Velcro as its primary attachment method. Quasm buckles and G-hooks are also accepted, those being sold separately. From colorways to sizing, let's talk about the Slickster's variety.
The Slickster is available in Multicam, Multicam Black, Coyote Brown, Ranger Green, Black, and Wolf Gray. The Slickster can be ordered in size medium or size large. Sizing adjustability. The shoulder straps have 14.5 inches of adjustability, and the cummerbund has 12 inches of adjustability. Plate bag sizes. Coming in 2 sizes, medium and large, the plates these will accommodate breaks down as follows. The medium-sized Slickster will fit medium SAPI, E-SAPI, and swimmer plates from 10 inches by 12 inches up to 1 inch thick. The large-sized Slickster will fit large SAPI, E-SAPI, and swimmer plates from 10.5 inches by 13.5 inches up to 1 inch thick.
Country of origin is a critical consideration when choosing a plate carrier. Country of origin is a dependable but not absolute indicator of innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. So where does the Ferro Concept Slickster come from?
The Ferro Concept Slickster is made in the USA.
Price is the least important consideration when choosing a plate carrier. This is life-preserving gear after all.
Most of us have learned the hard way that cutting corners on tools comes with a cost. So here's our advice. Do your research and buy once, cry once. Invest in quality now to avoid regrets later. And since you're here watching this Insights video, you're already on the right track. The Ferro Concept Slickster is available for $160 for all colorways in both medium and large, except for Multicam Black, which raises the price $8 to $168 for medium and large.
This concludes our technical overview of the Ferro Concept Slickster. We hope you found it both informative and enjoyable. Do you own a Slickster? What are your thoughts on it? Share your stories and insights in the comments below.
If you're looking to see the latest in all-aspect thermoregulation, remember to follow us on Instagram at Qore Performance and subscribe to our Launchpad email list to join us in building a superhuman future. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay frosty.
In the relentless heat of summer 2015, Qore Performance set out to revolutionize personal cooling solutions. This journey led to the creation of ICEPLATE, a revolutionary device designed to provide active cooling, heating, and hydration.
Recognizing the potential to integrate this innovation into wearable safety gear, the team developed, alongside other wearable solutions, ICEPLATE EXO SLK, a high-visibility safety vest that seamlessly combined cooling, heating, and hydration functionalities. But its evolution didn't stop there. With each new iteration, new questions emerged. How far could this platform be pushed? Could a high-visibility safety vest also function as a slick plate carrier? The answer lay in the dimensions of ICEPLATE itself, which matched a medium ICEPLATE armor plate. What began as a tool for staying cool and hydrated in extreme workplaces became something more. A lightweight, adaptable chassis with the potential to redefine how load-bearing gear interacts with the human body. ICEPLATE EXO SLK has evolved into a versatile solution now available in military colors to meet the diverse needs of military personnel, law enforcement, and prepared citizens as a slick plate carrier. In this episode of Qore Performance Insights, we trace the path from industrial safety to military applications and beyond, exploring whether ICEPLATE EXO SLK Gen 3 is just another slick plate carrier or something that fundamentally shifts how we think about body armor integration.
We're taking a quick moment to shout out our new ammo sponsor, ammoman.com. If you're looking for a reliable, hassle-free way to get your ammo fast, ammoman.com has you covered. Here's the deal. They offer free shipping on orders over $99 and only list items that are in stock. So if you see it on their site, it's ready to go. No back orders, no delays. Plus, when you set up an account, you'll earn 2% back on every $100 spent and a faster checkout once you're verified. Ammoman.com isn't just about ammo. They're backed by real shooters with excellent customer service from actual people. Whether you reach out by phone or email, their team is there to make sure you're taken care of. Depending on when you place your order, you could have your package in just a couple of days. If you're shopping smart, ammoman.com is your go-to. Reliable stock, great service, and a team that loves shooting as much as you do. Check them out via links in the video description. Now let's get back to the video.
For those new to this series, our videos aren't traditional reviews. We create them to address frequent customer questions regarding integrating our Ice Age ecosystem's thermoregulation and hydration solutions with various plate carriers. Our approach is empirical. We provide objective, quantifiable data backed by testing and documentation. No opinions, no conjecture. Just actionable insights designed to help you make informed decisions. That's what building a superhuman future is all about.
While ICEPLATE EXO SLK Gen 3 is one of our own products, our commitment to empirical data remains the same. Every Insights video, this one included, focuses on data-driven analysis rather than personal opinion. This ensures that you have the best information possible to make your purchase decision. Because ICEPLATE EXO SLK Gen 3 is inherently a slick plate carrier, its integration with our Ice Age ecosystem is not as straightforward as its big brother, ICEPLATE EXO Gen 3, our ultralight minimalist plate carrier.
SLK Gen 3 works perfectly with our universal IceFence Classic and Aero shoulder pads for load distribution and ventilated padding. But, unlike ICEPLATE EXO Gen 3, SLK Gen 3 does not feature internal Velcro fields for mounting IMS Pro Gen 3 or IceFence pontoons. However, by installing Catamaran Gen 3 to the body-facing side of the plate bags, IMS Pro Gen 3 or IceFence pontoons can be mounted internally. Additionally, IMS Pro Gen 3 can be mounted externally to integrate IcePlate for hydration only. IMS Versa Gen 3 can also be utilized to mount IcePlate internally or externally.
Now let's find out what ICEPLATE EXO SLK Gen 3 is made out of.
ICEPLATE SLK Gen 3 is built from our laser-cut laminate, engineered for maximum durability, hydrophobic properties, and weight savings. It includes premium components such as name-brand Velcro, shock cord, and an IRR-compliant 500D nylon outer shell.
Weight is one of the most critical factors when selecting a plate carrier. So let's toss the SLK on the scale and see what its dry weight comes out to.
With just the front and rear plate bags and elastic cummerbund, SLK Gen 3 comes out to just 0.75 pounds or 12 ounces when dry.
Does wet weight matter more than dry weight? It depends on your mission. Whether you're dealing with saltwater or sweat, a plate carrier's ability to shed water weight quickly can dramatically impact operator performance. So let's dunk the SLK and see what its wet weight comes out to.
Our testing process remains simple and the same across all of our videos. We fully submerge the carrier in water for 60 minutes, allow it to drip dry for 60 seconds, and then record the weight. All of these tests are conducted in our HQ2 facility in Knoxville, Tennessee, thereby eliminating external variables such as sunlight and wind. With just the front and rear plate bags and elastic cummerbund, SLK Gen 3 comes out to 1.2 pounds or 19.2 ounces when wet. These tables show how ICEPLATE SLK Gen 3 compares to other plate carriers that we've tested.
Thermal transmittance refers to the rate at which heat moves through a material. In the context of plate carriers, that specifically pertains to the body-facing side of the plate carrier plate bag.
When a material, such as a wall or plate bag, is well insulated, it has a low thermal transmittance, making it effective at protecting against external temperature changes, ideal for homes, vehicles, or cold weather gear. Conversely, poorly insulated materials have a high thermal transmittance, which is beneficial for active or athletic apparel like running gear, PT outfits, combat uniforms, and plate carriers. High thermal transmittance allows the body to release excess heat generated during physical activity. Given that tactical gear inherently provides some level of insulation, it's crucial to choose equipment, particularly plate carriers and body armor, with the highest possible thermal transmittance. Essentially, you need gear with minimal insulation to enable your body's natural cooling processes to function optimally, helping you manage body temperature independently of your gear. This is critical to prevent heat-related issues, ensuring you remain effective and increasing your survival chances in the field. Plate carriers like our ICEPLATE EXO Gen 3 are optimized to enhance your body's natural thermal regulation with seamless integration of technologies like ICEPLATE and ICEVENTS. For carriers lacking this feature, you can integrate items from our Ice Age ecosystem, like the IMS Pro, IMS Versa, ICEVENTS, and Catamaran, to improve their thermal efficiency. For a detailed understanding of heat transfer methods and their relevance to your gear, check out the infographics in our Insights blog article titled The Methods of Heat Transfer, linked in the show notes below. For all of the super nerds out there who want to know the experimental design for our thermal transmittance testing, here it is. Take a FLIR camera surface reading of the body-facing side of the plate bags at room temperature. Next, place a single ice plate curve fresh out of the freezer into the same plate bag. After that, close the plate bag and place a hard armor plate on top of the plate bag for 30 seconds to simulate the effect of putting on the plate carrier. Use short exposure time to test efficiency, not capacity. Next, remove the hard armor plate from the surface of the subject plate bag. And finally, take a new FLIR surface temperature reading. SLK Gen 3 recorded a baseline surface temperature of 64 degrees Fahrenheit and an ice plate inside temperature of 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which yields a thermal shift of 19 degrees Fahrenheit. What do these numbers mean? We've added two data tables for an unbiased analytical context, mean on the left and median on the right. As a quick refresher, the mean, often called the average, is the sum of all values divided by the number of values. The median is the middle value of a dataset when ordered from smallest to largest. If there is an even number of observations, it is the average of the two middle values. When the data is symmetrically distributed and you want to account for all values, including extreme ones, you should use the mean. The median is the preferred analytical tool when the data is skewed or contains outliers that might distort the mean. The smaller the spread between the initial or baseline surface temperature and the surface reading at room temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. Plate carriers with these readings will trap and retain more heat, making you hotter. The larger the spread between the initial or baseline surface temperature and the surface reading at room temperature, the higher the thermal transmittance of that plate carrier. Plate bags with these larger spreads are better at removing heat to let your body's thermoregulation mechanisms work as naturally as possible. The tables on screen show how SLK Gen 3 compares to other plate carriers we've tested.
And so now let's move on to the unique features that ICEPLATE XO SLK Gen 3 has to offer.
SLK Gen 3 can be run as a cooling, heating, and hydration safety vest with ICEPLATE in the bags, or swap in armor plates for an ultralight slick plate carrier. Its hydrophobic construction reduces water absorption, keeping the carrier light in any condition. Also, SLK Gen 3 features laser cuts for ease of mounting radios or radio PTTs. SLK Gen 3 also features laser cut eyelets on the sides of the plate bag, allowing for plate bag lacing to cinch down the plate bag, securing thinner armor plates. Finally, the ICEPLATE closure flap is re-engineered to seamlessly fit ICEPLATE as well as armor plates. The algorithmically optimized relief cuts provide maximum plate retention by allowing the plate bag to conform organically to multi-curve armor plates.
Now we're going to talk about all of the attachment mechanisms that you can utilize on ICEPLATE XO SLK Gen 3.
SLK Gen 3 utilizes Velcro, Swift Clip, and G-hook systems for secure attachment.
SLK Gen 3 comes in quite a few colorways, so let's talk about that and its sizing adjustability when we move on to variety.
SLK Gen 3 was originally available in high-vis and black to serve our safety customers, but has since been expanded to include multicam, Ranger Green, and Coyote for military, law enforcement, and prepared citizens. The shoulder straps offer 4 inches of adjustability, while the elastic side straps provide a broad range of fit customization to accommodate different body types. SLK Gen 3 is optimized for medium ICEPLATE plates and fits 9.5 inches by 12.5 inches up to 1.1 inches thick for medium ICEPLATE armor plates, 10 inches by 12 inches up to 0.75 inches thick for medium SAPI profile plates, shooter and swimmer, ICEPLATE, and SAPI footprints.
Country of origin is a critical consideration when selecting a plate carrier. Country of origin is a dependable but not absolute indicator of innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. So where does ICEPLATE XO SLK Gen 3 come from?
SLK Gen 3 is 100% designed and manufactured in Knoxville, Tennessee.
When it comes to life-preserving equipment, price comes secondary to performance. But let's find out what SLK Gen 3 costs.
SLK Gen 3 is $195 for the vest alone. For cooling and heating only, including 2 ice plates, the price is $270. For full cooling, heating, and hydration with drinkable dual ice plates, the total is $310.
Shout out to our friends at TA Targets for supplying the steel we shot in today's video. Built right here in the USA by like-minded patriots, TA Targets brings you portable, durable, and innovative steel target systems designed to elevate your training. Whether you're on the range refining your skills or pushing your limits in drills, TA Targets delivers reliable performance that's made to last. Upgrade your training toolkit with targets you can trust. Visit TATargets.com and don't forget to follow them on Instagram at TA Targets to stay up to date on their latest products.
That wraps up our technical overview of ICEPLATE XO SLK Gen 3. We hope you found it both informative and enjoyable. Are you an ICEPLATE XO SLK Gen 3 user? Do you use it as a safety vest or a slick plate carrier? Let us know what you think of it in the comments below. And also don't forget to like and subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram at Qore Performance and subscribe to our Launchpad email list to join us in building a superhuman future.
As always, stay frosty.